All right. Good evening, everyone. Online. Am I audible to you guys? Yes. Yeah. Good evening, Nish. So have you gone through the dress up? It's working now. Please check. First, connect to the VPN, right? You got the host or live on, right? Which nigga? Or host up on network lo. దాంట్లో ఏది సో విచ్ డివైస్ ఇస్ హ్యావింగ్ ది పోర్ట్ 5 or 445 is running అని ఎలా తెలుసుకున్నాం? 3 devices లో ఏ డివైస్ పోర్ట్ 444 రన్ అవుతుందని ఎలా తెలుసుకున్నాం? ఎస్ఎంబి ఎస్ఎంబి కదా నేను చెప్పింది, ఎస్ఎంబి ఎన్యూమరేషన్. ఎస్ఎంబి పోర్ట్ 445 కదా. ఫిల్టర్ రన్ చేస్తాం. ఏమని రన్ చేసినాం? ఏ డివైస్ ది? ఏ డివైస్ ఐపీ ఏది? ఏ ఐపీకి వచ్చింది ఫిల్టర్డ్ అని? 40.1 అనేది గేట్వే. నీకు ఆ గేట్వే కనెక్ట్ అయిన డివైసెస్ కదా నువ్వు ఐడెంటిఫై చేయాల్సింది. ఇక్కడ ఏమవుతుంది తెలుసా? నీకు ఇచ్చిన ఐపీ అడ్రస్ ఏంటి తెలుసా? ఇది నీ డివైస్ అవునా? ఓకే, సో ఇది నీ డివైస్, నీ ఖాళీ లైనక్స్ అనుకున్నా. సో యూ కనెక్టెడ్ టు ఏ విపిఎన్. ఓకే, సో నౌ దిస్ విపిఎన్ ఈస్ అలౌయింగ్ యూ టు కనెక్ట్ టు మై నెట్వర్క్. ఇది నా నెట్వర్క్. సో నా నెట్వర్క్ ఐపీ. Okay, so in this network you have the server like devices like metasploitable server, Kali Linux, Windows, right? So put the IP వచ్చేసి 192.168.40 dot, like here you got 101, this is having 105, this is having 201. అంతే, నువ్వు దీన్ని స్కాన్ చేస్తే ఏమొస్తుంది? గేట్వే ఆబ్వియస్గా ఓపెన్ లేదు పోర్ట్ నీకు. నువ్వు గేట్వేని ఎందుకు స్కాన్ చేస్తున్నావు? Why you are scanning the gateway? I said gateway, this is my network IP. Okay, so now you are entering into my network. So in my network, you need to scan what are the active devices. That is what the task I have given. Why have you seen the task which I have given? So what I have mentioned in the task, 192.168.40.1 by 24. Avuna? So why I have given the 24 then? So 24 ante enti ikkada? 24 ante enti? Complete network. So I'm telling you to scan the entire network. సో నువ్వు ఈ ఐపీ అడ్రస్ ఒక్కటే ఎందుకు తీసుకుంటున్నావు? సో అక్కడ ఏం చెప్తున్నా బాబు, ఈ నెట్వర్క్. సో దిస్ ఇస్ ది నెట్వర్క్. ఇన్ దిస్ నెట్వర్క్ యూ హ్యావ్ సమ్ devices. In the devices, check which device is running port 445 and try to find a secret file in that. So if you see, what is the command I have given here? I have scanned entire network. I didn't specify. Even previously, if you observe, I performed the host discover scan. I got to know 4 hosts are live in this network. All right. So in this 4 host, which host is running port 445? How will you check? Either you need to go with 1 by 1 IP and you can check, or else you can give the entire range and you can mention port number and check which hyphen open. So it will give only the device or IP which is running the service. So now can you able to say which service is running port 445? 105. Ante. క్లాస్ ఏ ఎన్ని ఐపీస్ ఉంటాయి, ఎన్ని హోస్ట్ అడ్రస్లు ఉంటాయి? క్లాస్ ఏలో ఎన్ని నెట్వర్క్ ఐడీస్ ఉన్నాయి చెప్పు. నెట్వర్కింగ్ లో చెప్పిన నువ్వు క్లాస్ ఇన్లే అని చెప్పకు. నెట్వర్కింగ్ కాన్సెప్ట్ లో ఐపీ అడ్రస్ అప్పుడు చెప్పిన ఐపీ అడ్రస్ అనేది 5 క్లాసెస్ గా డివైడ్ అవుతాయి. క్లాస్ ఏ, క్లాస్ బి, క్లాస్ సి. అవును, దీనిలో క్లాస్ కరెక్టే. సో క్లాస్ ఏలో ఎన్ని నెట్వర్క్ ఐడీస్ ఉంటాయి? ఎన్ని నెట్వర్క్ ఐడీస్ ఉంటాయి? ఓకే కాదు, ఎన్ని నెట్వర్క్ ఐడీస్ ఉన్నాయి? క్లాస్ ఏలో ఎన్ని నెట్వర్క్ ఐడీస్ ఉంటాయి, ఎన్ని హోస్ట్ ఐడీస్ ఉంటాయి? క్లాస్ ఏలో how many host addresses and how many network addresses you have? Class A, one network address and 3 host addresses. Class B, 2 network and 2 host. Class C, 3 network and 1 host. So network is representing your class A. So this is the 8 bits. Remaining will be how many host addresses you have. So how much? 24. అంతే కదా. సో ఇప్పుడు ఎన్నైతే నెట్వర్క్ ఐడీస్ అంటే /8 రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తాయి. సో /8 is representing the network ID, right? 16/16 representing this as a network IDs. 24. So this part is considered as a host address. Ante when I perform a scan 192.168.40.1 by 24 when I'm giving, so వీటిని CIDR notations మొత్తం చెప్పిన నేను క్లాస్లో. CIDR notations we call target specification also I have explained you, right? So CIDR notation. So 24 means this will be considered as a network ID and this will be considered as a host. Means now the scan will perform on this particular range. Means it will check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is the size of this? 8. So 2 power 8, 256 minus 2. Why minus 2? 0. So 0 and 255. So 0 is a network ID, 255 is a broadcast. So how many it will be there? 254. So it will scan up to 254. What if I mention instead of 24, if I mention 16? Now I'm giving like this. So what it will do now? So this will consider as a network and this will be considered a hash. These 2 classes will be, these 2 ranges will be scanned. Means 254 and like into 254, almost 65,536, but 34 minus 2. So the IPs are very important. అందుకే మొత్తం చెప్పిన IP addresses నేర్చుకోండి అని. Though even though 192 is class C also, you can mention that. They use the subnetting also. What you will do at that time? If they are using a subnetting, what you will do? So you can scan that. You have a scope to do that. Generally default it will be the class C. So class C will be 24. What if they go with the subnetting dividing the network? So at the time they can mention this as 16 you can mention, 24 you can mention, 23, 25, 26, 28 also you can do. These are the subnetting things. So default will be the /8 indicates for the class A, /16 is for class B, /24 is for class A. Default. So if you're doing a subnetting, maybe these values can be changed. So at that time minus 32 how much? If I mention 24 minus 32 how much? 8. So this will be the 8 bits it will be considered. If I mention 24 how? Again 2 minus 8. So total it will be a 6 only. So like that there will be a subnetting concepts. So that is what I said. Simple. I said you about these things in target specification also. You don't know the specific IP in the network. So what you'll do, you'll scan entire network. How will you scan your network? So for example, I got to know your address. For example, like let's take Sumant, your IP address is 40.12 I got to know. Right. So what I'll do, obviously the first IP of the network will be 1. Oh no. So what I'll do, I'll go for /24. Now what happened? I'm scanning entire your network. So obviously it will list out what are the active hosts in this. What are the 254 active hosts? In that, how many are active hosts? It will list out. So here you got 4 hosts. Did I specify any IP address here? No, I just given the gateway along with the range. So the range I have given as /24. You can go with the iPhone 254 also. So 1.1, 254 you can give. So 254 IPs it will scan. So like that you can scan the range. So if I check what are the active hosts in the network, host discovery, you know, right? So you got to know these are all the active hosts 40.1, 40.101, 40.105 and 201. Right. So 4 hosts are up. So in that, which host is running port 445? I don't know. Why? Because the task I have given for you is, what is the task? So in this network, you're entered into my network through the VPN, right? So there are many devices in this network. In this network, which device is running? Port 445 you need to identify. And through that service, find is there any share folder, share list. And through that share list, you can enter into the target system, connect with the target system, and find a file called secret.txt. This is what the task I have given. You know, this question, whichever the task I have given for you, was asked in CEH practical exam. So now tell me. So now you got to know one device is running port 445 open, which is 105 device. So now what you will do? What is the next step? What is the next step? Continues. 445 కదా అది అర్థం కాలే పోర్ట్ ఓపెన్ ఉందా ఆఫ్ ఉందంటే డివైస్ వచ్చింది కానీ 40.105 డివైస్ లో పోర్ట్ 445 ఓపెన్ ఉందని వచ్చింది నీకు ఇప్పుడు. సో పోర్ట్ ఓపెన్ ఉందంటే ఇప్పుడు దాని అర్థం మనం కనెక్ట్ అవ్వచ్చు అని. సో ఇప్పుడు ఎలా కనెక్ట్ అవుతావు? సో నేను లాస్ట్ సెషన్ ఒక టాస్క్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేసినాను. ఎస్ఎంబి ఎన్యూమరేషన్ ఎలా చేస్తాను? ఎస్ఎంబి ఎన్యూమరేషన్ చేయాలి మీరు ఇక్కడ. SMB port open ఉంది. You need to perform the SMB enumeration here. What are the tools I said to SMB enumeration? SMB enumeration చేయడానికి నేను ఇచ్చిన టూల్స్ ఏంటి? రాసుకున్నావా లాస్ట్ సెషన్? ఇప్పుడు టూల్స్ ఏం చెప్పా? నెట్ బయోస్ కాదు. I'm not asking about the net BIOS. I'm asking about the SMB. SMB enumeration I have discussed the 2 port numbers for you. So no one went through the recorded session again. Ante, right? You just went, you scanned, you didn't get that, you left. Two tools enum for Linux, SMB client. So I said you check whether the any services SMB port open and share services unnayannattu leda you can go with the NBT scan about your target 192.168.40.105, the metasploitable server. So if you want to see what services this metasploitable server is running, you can go with V, small v, verbose. So 20 run అవుతుందంటే ఏం చెప్పా? What is the meaning of 20 code? Which service? File share open ఉన్నట్టు, file share service open ఉన్నట్టు లేదా. So if you're not getting the metasploitable, the NetBIOS table directly, you can use the enum for Linux tool. In that you have an option to check the share list, right? So simple -s, go with your target IP 40.105. Is there share list? So is that folders in the share? So how to access these folders? SMB client usage. Even by using the SMB client also, you can go with this. Either enum for Linux will list you what are the open or folders are running. Even SMB client also you can give. SMB client, go with your target IP 192.168.40.105. Enter. But it will ask for the password here. So just go with the like default anonymous login. If you have that, is that listing you? Imagine it has a password. We don't know the password. What I said to do? What I said to do? Hydra. I said you to use the Hydra. Huh? So give the word list, give the target. See, this is what I explained in the last session. More sal explanation. 3 times. Recording would open just to scotch. So you got the login. Even if not, I said you to go with the tool called what is the tool name I said?
Sir, it's crack map EXEC.
Track map, right? EXEs, yes. So this is a tool. I said you to work out. Same alternate of Hydra, especially for some of the services, SMB, RDPL, DAB, and this. So now you got the username and password through Hydra. Now, how to connect with that SMB client? Now I'm not going to use the list. Already I know the list. / go with 192.168.40.105 is my target. And which folder you want to connect? Temp folder. There are 4 folders are open. Share services. Share listing is 4. So temp, and I said you go with enter. I'm going with default login. So login is there. If you want to enter the password, -u, user is a username, password is also user. So go with the user. This is the username and this is the password. Percentile is the space here. Enter. So now you got login. See the files, right? So ls-a, go with hidden files. So second, I think file got deleted. Just a second. So again, in this you'll see that secret.txt file. So in that txt file, what is the flag you have? You need to submit that flag. So simple. Okay, the file got deleted. Fine, up to here also you can able to. So this is the process. So I said in last session that if when you perform the NetBIOS enumeration, if you see what services they are running, like 20, 10, 00, 30, or 3 EC. So based on that, we can identify what type of data they are holding or services they are holding. So if 20 is open means max, I said there are share folders, right? So you can see that share folders here. So these are all the share names, right? So now we can connect to that share folders through a service called SMB client. So this is the task I have. పాస్వర్డ్ లేకుండా పాస్వర్డ్ క్రాక్ చేయాలంటే హైడ్రా యూస్ క్లియర్. All right, so today we'll go with the remaining enumeration service. In that we'll discuss about the SNMP. So what is SNMP do here? What is SNMP port or protocol do?
So, sir,
Hmm.
uh, SNMP, it is simple network management protocol. Basically, it is used to know the performance of devices which is deployed on the network, like the
Exactly.
routers, switches, servers, and it basically monitored by the administrator with, uh, using the application, and we used to call that as SNMP manager. So this the SNMP manager is nothing but the he actually monitoring the whole uh, devices which is deployed on the network, And once if there is any device who lost who lost some data packets, so it will respond with the uh,
Mm,
trap message, which is basically for the which is basically indicating that the device is not working good, or the performance is not good, or the data is basically lost. So it generate a trap message to the SNMP manager.
exactly.
And there is one more component present, which is known as management information base, MIB. It it
Mm,
basically contain the object identifier, because since the manager wants to know the performance. So how the manager can able to get the data or the performance of the device. So that so suppose there is a router, and the router contains the name, uptime, these type of attribute, but these attributes are assigned uh, identifier number, object identifier number. That identifier number will respond to that manager.
mm, exactly.
It's basically, it works in this way.
Good. So yeah, as you said, SNMP is a simple network management protocol. In the name itself, we have management, network management. So whatever the centralized devices we use in the network configuration, to monitor that centralized device and collect the data from the sources, and analyzing the data, like is there any uh, data loss, or even is there any fault in the connectivities. All these things you can manage through a service called SNMP. So it is used to monitor the network devices, as well as it is used to control and configure or manage the devices remotely, right? So mostly it is widely used in routers, switches, servers, printers, firewalls, and IoT devices. So the purpose of SNMP is, this SNMP will help the administrators to monitor the network performance, or even to detect the failures in the network, and as well as to collect the statistics, like how much CPU utilization or memory utilization or processing. All this information will also be collected, and you can configure the devices remotely, right? So like the CPU usage, bandwidth usage, interface status, device uptime, all these things you can monitor through a service called SNMP. So SNMP is nothing but simple network management protocol. So it is running on a port 161 and 162. So 161, we call that as a manager level, right? So manager, here we have three components. One is manager, another one is agent, another one is MIB, right? So these three components has their own functionalities. Like manager, which is a central monitoring system, and agents are like software. So agents is like a software running on device, and MIB here. So MIB here, it's a database of manageable objects, right? So these three components are mainly used in your SNMP. So SNMP manager is the control system that requests the information, right, from the agents, and collect that information, and accordingly it will detect is there any failures in the network, or statistics of the network like CPU utilization, memory utilization, device uptime, all these things. And the agent runs on the target device, so which is responsible for collect the local information and response to the manager request and send the alerts, and that alerts are happen through the traps. So what we want traps. So we call them as a traps here. So the agents run on the target devices, maybe anything, router, switch, and host in target devices, and collect the local information like CPU utilization, downtime, bandwidth usage, all this information, and that will be forwarded to the manager. So manager will have an idea how these networks are running here, right? And for example, a router SNMP agent, consider router is an SNMP agent here. So now it will give the information related to the interface status or CPU load or memory usage or bandwidth consumed or uptime of the device. All this information will be forwarded to the SNMP manager. So that will help the manager in future to detect any incidents happen or any failures in the network that can be analyzed. So for that purpose, so not in the individual basis, but if you have a big organizations and if they have the multiple agents like routers, switches, servers, the networking part. So to manage them remotely, they use this service called SNMP. So default, this will be enabled in your routers also, right? And MIB is nothing but here, management information base, we call it management information base. So this is nothing but a database of an objects the SNMP agent exposes here. So it has a object identifiers. So like this may represents the device host name. So it will collect the device host name, right? And in that we have two ports. One is 161 and 162. So 161 is for SNMP communication, sending and getting the request, requesting and getting the response from the agent to the manager. And 162 is for SNMP trap, SNMP trap messages, nothing but alerts. If any falls happen, it will give the alerts for you. So that is happened through the 162 port. And these two run on UDP, not TCP. So these both are running on UDP service, not on the TCP. All right. So this is what SNMP do here. So now we'll perform the SNMP enumeration. Means what SNMP port is open, or if a SNMP port is open. So how attackers can able to read the data or control the device or collect the information of these agents, right? So by default, your devices are disabled with the SNMP port. If you check, if you run the Nmap, all these things, by default, SNMP port is disabled. So how to enable that SNMP port means, if you take your Windows, if you go to your settings, right, so search for optional or else apps or features will be there. You can go with the apps or features, or else if you go to the system, in system, it will show you optional features. So in this optional features, you have add a feature. Can you able to see that? In this add a feature, you have an option called SNMP. So you search, you'll get the SNMP. So just do that. Open your devices, just enable the SNMP service. For me, it's already downloaded, so it's not showing here. For you, it will show you to install option. So just open your Windows 10, go to the apps and features or see optional features. In that, you can see this. These two things you need to enable. So then your SNMP agent will be installed. ఈ రెండు ఉంటాయి. ఇక్కడ యాడ్ అని లేదా, యాడ్ ఫీచర్స్ అని లేదా, పైన ఇక్కడ విండోస్ 11 10 10లో ఇదే ఉంటుంది. Optional features. Okay. In Windows 11, you got reset moment. Just open your Windows device. Just see optional features. You can see the add features. In that search for SNMP. So when you search for SNMP, you can able to see these two options will be shown. One is simple network management protocol. So here it will show you the install option. Do install. Same do for SNMP provider also. Just do these two things. In the install option. You done downloading? See, by default, SNMP is not enabled in our devices. So we'll just enable that and see what information it will provide. Downloaded. Huh? So now once this two rendu PM same SNMP and type just like rendu. When you type SNMP, you'll see both. So once you're done with installing these two services, now just open your run. In that, go for services.msc. So just go with the command called services.msc. Right. So in that services.msc, you can able to see SNMP service and SNMP trap. Can able see that? So here, once you enable the two packages, here the service will be open. In this list, it will show you this two services. So one is 161 for communication, one is 162 for alerts. So just open this SNMP service, right click. If it's showing the start, you need to start that, or else you can start from here also. For me, it's showing as a stop. That means it got started, the service is running. So just double click on this SNMP service. Here can you see the startup type is automatic. Keep this. And next thing we have is log on. So I'm not going with any password configuration. Again, we need to do the brute force and get that. Instead of that, you can go with the local system account and then recovery, nothing to do here. Agent, nothing to do. Traps, nothing to do. You can give the communities if you want. I'm leaving that empty. Security. So in security, I'm going with the send authentication trap. And if you see, this list will be empty for you. So just you need to click on add. First read only, go for public. See how I'm giving that and click on add. Then again click on add. Now go for read write. So read write will be given to private. So like that they divide the community rights here. And then again you can add the local also. So just see this. So make sure three communities you need to build. One is public, private, and local. So once it's done, go with accept SNMP packets from any host. I'm not restricting internally, I'm keeping from any host. Now then click on apply. So what are the things you need to do? Check automatic, log on, local system, recovery, then agent, traps, security, go for three communities here. Click on send authentication trap, accept the SNMP packet from any host. If it is not showing the security for you, that's fine. Just check with the local login. Just keep this and go for OK. Okay. Then next same thing for trap also. So just open the trap. Here you can see there is no security. Just log on. Keep this to the local system. Nothing to do in recovery and dependencies. Just click on OK. So now these two services are running in your system. Make sure it should be start here. Okay, so check that these both services are enabled. Now, if someone scanned your network now, okay, so Nmap, forgot to take the IP address. Zero dot 188. So Nmap 192.168.0.188 is my target example, or else you can scan the entire network and port 161 and 162. Right. So if you see what you're getting, but service is running, right? Yeah. Why it is getting as a closed? Service run అవుతుంది కదా. Why you getting as a closed here? Anyone? Windows firewall. If it is a firewall, I used to get as a filter now. I said SNMP is running on UDP, not on TCP. What can I have performed there? And perform చేసిన scan ఏంటి? Default, it will go for TCP scan. So that's why you're not getting the output. Mention UDP. What you got? open filtered. So giving that port open, right? So now how to enumerate this SNMP? Simple, you can go with the tools like SNMP walk. This is one tool you have, or else in Metasploit framework. In MSF console, you have SNMP enum. Okay, so MSF console. So SNMP walk will be useful for you. You can run that. It will be very easy to run also. So just SNMP walk, you can go with the target IP. Or else you can search for SNMP author. So here you have SNMP enumeration module. What is the number? 19. So use 19. I'll go with the show options. So set our host 192.168.0.188 and then simply run that. So now it's done. Enumeration, you can see. Now just list out what it is giving. The first it is giving is what processes are running. You can see these are all the processes running in the target host. So what you got first here? Note down processes it is giving. Then software components running. What are the components running in the target device? Device information, like what are the services it is running, the status, virtual machines, Open VPN, WIN port, Bluetooth device, Tailscale, Norton VPN, all these services like device information. File system it has to give. Here you have to get the NTFS, but it is giving as unknown. Fine. File system it is giving, and memory, physical memory. What is the meaning of physical memory? Memory ante enti? RAM. How much RAM it is running? 23. You can check that. What is my device RAM here? So 23.8 GB. In that usable 14.6. Same you got here as a result. And virtual memory and local disk H, G, E, D, and local disk C with the serial number, right? And when storage information you got, right? And even you got the share list. These are all the folders in share actually. And you got the, I think this is the network services. So in my device, I'm running the local server. It is having MySQL server, Teams, Sysmain, Apache, SNMP Trap, Tailscale, all these things are running. So network services, listening UDP ports. What are the UDP connections or TCP connections? So TCP connections and listening ports, network IP, and you can see the network interfaces. These are all the network interfaces. These are all the network interfaces. So this is my chipset actually, my Wi-Fi chipset. You can see that the capacity of the chipset. So maximum transmission unit, like MAC address, speed, octets, OUI, OT. So these are all the adapters. So these are all the network interfaces and network information, like default TTL value, TCP segment sends, receive, datagram inputs, deliver datagrams, and even you got the user accounts. These are the usernames. And you got my system information like complete device name, hardware Intel 64, 6 model 158 stepping 1080 NT, compatibility software Windows version 6.3 with build version you're getting, and uptime of SNMP, uptime of system date. All right, so all this information you can collect from the trap through SNMP service. Got it? Is that clear? All right, same thing. You'll get with the SNMP walk and go with 192.168.0.188. So make sure these things also will be secured here. Just a second. The command for this. Okay, we'll go with the SNMP check. This is a tool. SNMP walk is different. Apart from that, you have SNMP check. So I can run this one. Will perform that scan. Okay. So the command for this is SNMP -check. Note down. This is the command. So SNMP -check, give the IP address. So if you see, it is giving the same, like what network interfaces, like whatever we got from Metasploit framework, same SNMP enumeration, right? So this is the command. So apart from this, SNMP walk will be there. So SNMP walk command is you need to give the version like hyphen. It is a version 1. You need to mention V1 and hyphen C, which is the community. Community is public. We created the community, right? Then you need to give the IP address 0.188. So now this is giving in the MIB scenario. ODI something will be there. So it is giving this data in the integer format. So it is a raw format of a data. So if you scroll down here, so it is an integer based scenario. If they are running SNMP version 2, So this will give the data in the, these are the paths, things, what services they are running. It is give the data like this. So if you overcome from raw data to normal data, SNMP work is, SNMP check will be the best. Or else you can go with the SNMP enumeration module from MSF console. Got it? Is that clear online? Any doubts? So just to inform you what attackers can do by enumerating the services. So they can collect your all information like what services, software components, every information they'll collect. Got it? Is there any doubts online? Rishabh, Mohammed? Right. All right, so I'll stop it here for today. Why SNMP is disabled by default? So this is not our networking device, right? So we don't have any networking services in my system basis. So SNMP by default will be enabled in the routers, switches, servers in these devices. So to monitor the network activities, status of that devices, not the individual devices. So in individual devices, they'll only hold the traps, like any alerts to collect any network failures. For that only, they'll use this service. Got it? So I said the purpose of SNMP is to monitor the network performance, detect the failures in the network, collect the statistics, and configure the devices remotely. So like your CPU usage, bandwidth usage, interface status, device uptime, downtime, all these things I need to monitor in the agents only. So default that will be enabled in the network sources, not an individual systems. Right. So just go through this as of now. So do sorry, SMB enumeration on your metasploitable server on. So take your device IP and do that. Yeah. So completed this today. Tomorrow I'll go with that SMTP relay attack and we'll start the system hacking module. Okay. So just do complete everyone. So we'll stop it here for today. We'll continue the remaining in next session. So thank you everyone. Thank you for joining the session. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.